I'm fine.
And Sportsbook.
KUGAN CASSIUS IFLTV here with Big Johnny Fisher and Big Barry Hearn. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, Kugan. Good to see you, mate.
Lovely to see you. Barry, him and Chisora, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, listen, it's not a fight I think we walk away from. I think it's a great fight for John. I mean, I like Chisora. I like he's a right nice fella and he's a great compliment to boxing. There is a big part of me that says, no, I'd rather not. I mean, it's not good business because it might be really good. It's a big fight. But if Derek seriously wants to fight on, he's talking about going to Manchester and doing this. China. But I don't know. End of this year, I would say if at the end of this year Derek is around and is ambitious enough to take the fight, which is obviously a huge fight, pays a huge purses to both fighters, which is the name of the game. You know, it wouldn't be me. I don't have the power to say no. It's up to Johnny who he fights, and he is an opponent that I have to say, I think would fit very much in Johnny Fisher's development rather more than Derek Chisora's development.
It's not really, apart from financial incentive, a lot really for Derek to fight you, unless there's a load of money on the table.
It's got to be huge. If I was Derek now, the payday is absolutely fundamental to what he does because he's 40 years old. It was a hard fight the other day. There was a lot of clean shots unanswered, which usually shorten your career a little bit. I wouldn't want Johnny to go through a fight like that. The whole point of learning the craft is actually to avoid that.
Yeah. Listen, I've got respect. I've just said it in the interview over there. I'm not the type to go and call out Derek Chisora. He's done a million times more than I've ever done in the ring. But if that's a fight that was presented for me as a fighting man, I'd go forward and take that fight, and I think I can win it. But it's whether Derek wants that, and he can call the shots a little bit more than I can, a lot more than I can, you know.
Interesting, but for Johnny's development, obviously after the Babbage win, which was a short night, but he's developing in the right way.
He's causing us problems, isn't he? I mean, you've got 12-0 heavyweight, who's obviously improving dramatically. I mean, look, I might like him, but it doesn't mean to say I tell lies about him.
Don't tell lies, he tells me the truth.
And he is coming on at the right speed and the right pace, and I'm going to be... Listen, Eddie will kill me because you know I'm not supposed to have opinions on boxing. It's his business.
Has he silenced you, Barry?
No one silenced me. But I'm going to be very happy, when at the end of next year he is 20-0. And I think at that stage we'll get to the age where what you haven't learned now, you may never learn.
Yeah, it makes sense. And I've spoke to Jess Arden about this a lot. He says you don't get good until you've had 20 fights.
Yeah.
And I've only started to think that in the last 2 fights, I'm starting to actually relax in there, not be tense.
Yeah.
And even in my sparring, the way I'm throwing my jab is a little bit better, and I'm flicking it on the pads. Before I was ramming it every single time. Yeah. Now I'm actually feeling a little bit loose because I've done it 12 times. So when I do it 20 times, I'll be in a better position, and hopefully I'll still only be 26, 27. You know.
A heavyweight doesn't really reach his peak to 28 to 30 years old physically.
Yeah.
You're a physical specimen already, but if there's 10% more of you to come, I'd rather, when we do roll the dice, and I have a little red button on my desk, when we press that red button, it is accompanied by 7 figures.
Lovely.
Wait, that's the first thing.
A Chinese.
And a massive Chinese. And I'll even pay for the Chinese, John. But the same is, I don't want to see anyone press that button and run the risk of saying, we move to... I know it's not what the fans want to hear necessarily, because the fans want to see massive fights. And Johnny Fisher sold nearly 3,000 tickets last. So, I mean, these are big tickets.
And the rest? Come on.
Yeah, but no, but the fact is, whatever it is, it's 10 times more than other fighters sell. So, we have something that might, and I don't think it's definite, we might have something that's special here. And I don't want to take a chance on that. Derek Chisora, I would take that fight at the end of this year without any worry myself or Johnny, I'm sure. There's a part of me that doesn't want Derek Chisora to take that fight, to be perfectly honest with you, because I think we're approaching health risk time, and that happens to every fight, and someone's got to be big enough, as I would be with Johnny, put my arm around his shoulder and say, son, that was your last one. That's what worries me, because we can all be brave talking, but these guys are the ones that are actually putting their life on the limb. So for you, career move, ideal.
But I know what you're saying about Derek and the position he's in, and that is something you have to think about. But obviously, when I go in the ring, I don't think about that.
No, you mustn't.
But
You mustn't.
in the build-up, that is something that's got to be a thing. But that's not me having a slight against Derek,
No.
because he can
The
still.
moment-
He
the
showed
moment-
he can beat Joe Joyce. You know.
The moment the fight is made, it's black and white.
Yeah.
You're there to win.
Yeah.
At any price, at any cost, because it's your life and it's your career. I'm just saying, I have a soft spot for Chisora.
Yeah.
I think he's one of the greatest ambassadors of boxing. I think he's a right nice kid, and I'm seriously worried about him. And I would be, but I still take the fight. And I know that makes me a bit of a bastard, but I take the fight because it's good business for my man. And in the end, I'm a Johnny Fisher man more than anybody else.
All right, Barry, if we could just collar you for a couple of other questions. Johnny, you can go out now.
Wall Street Memes Casino.